And by hold that, I mean show me pictures. Diabolical.
Dianabolical.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, well, well.
Dianabol still a thing?
You're with the right guy to ask.
Yeah.
I'm doing like
Yeah.
just cut off a little bit of this.
Ooh, nice. Hi,
Oh,
guys.
gosh, I see you.
I'm just going to sit here like this the whole time.
Are you live on here?
Do
already?
squats help? What part?
Go.
Yeah.
I'm starting.
Yeah, sorry.
I was waiting for you to tell me.
Me and my dad love watching your videos.
3, 2.
Holy sheesh, kid. You could see that?
Yes. Morning from Australia.
Clark's got the eye.
Legends in the building.
Lessons?
Legends.
All right.
Let
You guys are live, so tell us, Michael, who's here with you today and what are you guys up to?
Hi. I got my friend and
Mentor.
hero.
Hero.
Hey, did you post the video that we made
Which one? I mean,
of this guy?
no.
Okay.
We haven't posted the ones with Billy Gunn either training at the gym. I've been waiting for that.
That ain't my deal.
I know a famous person. I want to like,
That
Jeff,
ain't my thing.
where they at, bro?
You don't subscribe to Mike's YouTube? Wow, you just outed yourself.
He doesn't comment on
that's
anything.
fun.
So me not
You don't have
subscribing.
notifications. You don't have the
Oh,
bell
did you
going.
see? Watch
I
what
don't
they say
comment,
when they're
like,
angry.
or share
That's
either.
really how they feel.
Clark.
It's really how they feel. And I just put a nice video together of this guy.
Billy Gunn's got a great body as well. Mike looks like Thor.
I am Thor. Very Thor from the workout this morning. It was very
Would you
Thor.
recommend any peptides?
All of them. If there's a peptide, do it. I don't think there's a peptide I don't think is beneficial for somebody.
I'm probably the most perfect candidate on planet Earth for peptides right now.
Why would that be? Why would you say you're the most?
Because
What makes you think that?
I'm completely 100% clean and I look the way I look and my testosterone levels are in the toilet and I train hard and I want to continue to look better, but I've been resistant
It took him forever to get there.
to all of these things. And pride is keeping me from doing it. You know what I mean?
Jeffrey, were you AI ego?
Ego. Yeah.
Ego.
That's it.
No. Watch what ego says. And the reason why I said it took him forever to get there, because the fact of you live the life,
I'm just speaking the truth, John.
you live the life that what you tolerate, right?
Mhm.
It's like,
Yeah.
this is all I am accepting for myself. This is the level. And you are a pinnacle of a health fitness guy. You eat right, you train right, you take care of yourself. And so I see the point of you at this stage going, I'm not done. And I don't know why people do that. They go, hey, you're 62 now. Why don't you chill? Why don't you pull back? And it's like, wow, that's just not. You can't have that conversation with that kind of person because they don't value their way of living like you value your way of living.
Yeah.
What'd you find, Jeff?
AI says ego is the story you tell yourself about who you are. At its core, it's the part of your mind that tries to protect your identity, your image, and your sense of importance. Ego isn't good or bad by itself. It's a tool. It can push you forward or it can blind you.
Yeah.
Now, I love that because everybody goes, that guy's ego lifting, or that guy's got an ego, or that guy's 100%. The guy does have an ego. And again, like Jeff just read, the basic term is it can be used against you or it can help you. And I think Clark's ego is, I will not accept anything less than what your standards are.
Yeah, and that's hurting me
Because
of my ego being the part of me that doesn't allow me to do things that, to your point earlier, I know are beneficial to me, because I want to maintain this image of I'm doing this 100% with nothing. And now I'm even leaning into not even just I'm doing it with nothing, I'm doing it against the odds, age, the cancer treatment, all of these things.
You think all that is a deficit? How isn't that a plus?
It is. It's a plus.
What am I not understanding?
It's a plus, but I could be plus if I started adding these things to me. I'm just not doing it because I don't know
But you're going to.
if I find the right deal with somebody.
Okay.
I'm kind of waiting on that too, because the businessman in me is going, I'm not just going to go online and buy some peptides and start taking them. I'm going to align myself with somebody who can go, this is what we got right here. Look, we got a 62-year-old guy, blah, blah, blah. And we're going to, I can use the word optimize now. We're going to optimize his life, because I do want to be better now than ever. Like, I'm at a place in my life at 62, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, relationally. I want to be the best possible version of myself that I can. And I know that I probably am more capable now of getting better collectively than I've ever been in my entire life. Physically, all of the areas. So, I don't know, man.
Can I ask you a question?
Life is weird. Yeah.
A harsh one.
Okay.
That's your standard of living.
Let's go deep.
That's your standard of living. And you want to keep doing this.
Yes.
Wouldn't you remove it being a business deal relative to this is your freaking life? Hypothetically, the business deal may never come.
Right.
You're in the shit right now.
Right.
And for my son, you're a godfather too. I want that version of Clark. I got backup.
Yeah.
So me looking from the outside in, I guess it is your ego, because you're going too much business.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't get covers, wouldn't you still be in shape?
Yeah.
If you weren't a fitness guy, wouldn't you still be in shape?
Mm-hmm.
Then don't wait on that.
Yeah, you're saying the same thing my son says, Mitch. He hit me up the other day and we were talking. He's like, bro, what are you waiting for? He just looked at me. He's like, what are you waiting for? Because he's a researcher. He's a thinker. He's a deep down the rabbit hole chat GPT guy. My dad is 62 years old. He just had cancer treatment. His T levels are 124. His free is 0. How can he build muscle and look the way he looks and blah, 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 blah. Then he comes back to me with what it says. And he's like, bro, what are you doing? Because he sees me, I'm out there playing football with him. I'm doing all of these things. And I think he is fearful on one side and then also curious on the other side to like, what would be possible if my dad, because I always joke around. I go to the mirror and I pull up my shirt. And I'm like, is this normal for a 62-year-old guy? And I list all of the things, right? And he looked at me the other day and he's like, dude, it's not. And I don't see how you're doing what you're doing with your T levels the way they are, and you don't do anything. What the F, bro? What's, So that is my ego, man.
Mitch, you and me, kid.
Hey, Mike, I have kids ranging from 3
Why we ain't jumping off of this yet?
Okay.
Just chill, dog. Wow. I never have the reverse moments. so I'm a plethora of, I can correct things and he lets me know those things. And so this is like a first for me in a 40-year relationship. So, yeah, I agree with him.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the business. Just you. Take care of you. Make sure that those numbers are good and everything.
Yeah.
There was a question before that, though. Hello to Australia again.
While we're there.
Go for it.
Got to say that was a pretty deep answer. Thank you guys. On really funny.
You don't want the one that's up
King
there?
Chad.
Taste it. Read the one that's on the board. Right over there.
Best ways to natural. I like to challenge my eyes and read the small ones.
This guy ever done it live?
Best ways to naturally increase testosterone levels. Well, you want me to answer it my way? So first, I believe the belief has to be there. We've been conditioned to believe by the internet and everybody selling TRT that it's impossible to boost your TRT naturally or your test levels naturally. So that's the number one thing is your mindset has to be in a place where you understand that the human body is so capable of doing so many things that we're not allowing it to do because we jump to the most extreme, easiest way. And right now it's TRT. Every freaking buddy, TRT. You see on TikTok, everybody's an expert on TRT. Clinics popping up all over the place. So they've made us believe it's not possible. So the mindset is key. Nutrition is absolutely the next most vital piece in that because nutrition is not before mindset. Because if your mind is not set, then you will not eat the nutrition necessary. Abs are not made in the kitchen, ladies and gentlemen. They're not. Abs are not made in the kitchen. I don't care what anyone says. They're made in your mindset first because you could be in the kitchen and still eat crap. So your mindset has to be right. Your meals have to be right. And then movement, exercise. I walked in. Mike was squatting, I don't know, 575 pounds or something. How much was on there?
I don't know. Not enough.
It wasn't enough, but it was a deep, full squat. It was a rep. I don't know how much he did beforehand, but the bottom line was he knows that is going to help him move his testosterone up, not down. So let's just leave it at that. Will that movement that he did right now in the movements that we do in the gym, will it move your testosterone up or down? It'll go up. It'll go up. It's just the way our body's made. So mindset, meals, movement, community. If you're surrounded by like-minded people in a gym like that doing the same thing, if you've ever been in a locker room, testosterone does not go down in a locker room. It doesn't.
Call Robbie.
It goes up. And then I think a big piece of it also is integrity. How are you living your life for one? If you're running around lying to everybody, that's going to cause stress, which will then have an effect. But integrity in the terms of, are you reporting to your coach honestly? Clark, how did you train today? I trained like a bitch. Okay, get it together. So now he can call me out, like just the opening conversation. That conversation alone got my mind moving in a direction where I know that when I leave this place here today, my testosterone's already increasing. By leaps and bounds? No, but we're talking up or down. That's it.
That thing spiked when you walked in.
It did.
Spiked.
So I saw Mona.
Exactly.
Testosterone through the roof.
I know what the question was. It was my question to you. The squats this morning, what's it building? What's not the main focus? What are some snowball effects of doing what I did this morning?
What I saw was grit, just like getting in there and locking in, like full blown focus, locking in. Attention to detail was necessary there because every single move, like if I have it on video and if you watch it, it's a very interesting process to see someone who knows what they're doing and is maybe not challenging himself because he's certainly stronger than what he was lifting, but it's still a challenge. So locking in and doing everything absolutely perfectly the way you were taught, that to me is just an exercise of discipline. And it goes back to Titan. So we were watching Titan wrestle, and what I saw Titan doing in wrestling was the exact same thing I saw you doing squatting. Applying the principles that are necessary to achieve success. So above and beyond the strength, the quad development, the longevity, and all of the other stuff we hear about, to me, I was looking at all the little small minor details, the breath, the walkout, the depth, the knowing, okay, I'm there, now I can go back up. And the ascension too wasn't one that was, it was very deliberate. It was very deliberate. So those small things transcend. They go down to somebody else. And then when you see Jeff squat, it's the same thing, right? So this sort of shit that is what I geek out on, because that's the small little things that people don't see in the gym. It's like watching a football play develop. If you're only watching the quarterback, you're missing out on what everybody else is doing to accomplish what the goal is. So you have to learn not to look at the one thing. You got to kind of look at the overall development of what's happening, you know?
I like that.
Ask another question.
Be careful what you read, Clark. It's that class.
Someone's being mean to me?
No. Forewarning.
Okay.
I agree with Clark on the raising the testosterone naturally. Food, training, lifestyle, spanking it out. The circle of people as soon as we read that, I was like, call Robbie, because Robbie walks in a gym and he's a freaking panther when he walks. And it's just like, I better get into this. It's every guy here that ever did any type of sport. It's the difference between when you walk on the mat and when you're just driving over there. There's a different human when you walk on the mat, when you walk on the football field, or you walk into the sports. You're like, okay, you're now boiling. So that's a cool thing about it.
I heard a coach today say there's 3 guys I need on my team. The guy that wants the shirt, the guy that wants to win, and the guy that wants to be the champion. I need all 3 of them, but don't be the guy that wants the shirt and not play like you want to be the champion. You gotta, and Robbie, when I got around
the Alabama
Robbie,
coach?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's freaking, I love his scenarios.
He might have kids ranging.
Out loud.
Hey, Mike, I have kids ranging from 3 years old to 11, and we're starting a home gym. I would like to incorporate them into my wife and my workouts. Be interested to know what you would recommend. They obviously won't be able to do all of the movements that we do, but I want to keep them engaged. First of all, they can do all the movements that you can do. Maybe not as heavy. They have all of the body parts, I'm assuming. So if you can do it, they can do it. That'd be the first thing I'd say. Don't put a limitation on them and what they can do. But you got a equipment sponsor you need a shout out or anything?
I think teach them connection, and something he and I grew up, because we're 70s kids, is that we were posing, and it's a forgotten art. And I don't know if you did. I completely forgot that I could pose every muscle. And I started at 9 years old trying to bounce my chest. And the reason why that's beneficial for kids is you're going to get so much more advanced time when you're truly growing than wasting so much time in the gym. And so right now, at their young age, teach them to connect with their body parts. And this is you as a father, just kind of like get a towel and you team up with your kid and have them pull on it and just have them flex the arm, have them trying to flex the chest. I had Titan originally start by crushing a ball, a basketball that's a little deflated, and he just kind of crushes it. And then he started getting that chest activation and then his back flexing. And so he doesn't need to be competitive. This has nothing to do with any sport, with anything. It has to do with using weightlifting for what it's built for connection to the muscle so they can get stronger. And you're going to see everybody go to the gym and just watch somebody lift, and you can visually see they're just going through motions and there's no connection.
My favorite thing you have Titan doing is the earthquake bar, and he's got the kettlebells hanging off of that thing. That is the sort of stuff that I love, that I think you should be teaching your kids to. A lot of people say, I can't have my kids lifting weights. It's going to stunt their growth and all that sort of stuff. There's no truth to any of that. But if you're watching your kids and you're lifting, what I would recommend is exactly what Mike said, not necessarily machines and all that sort of stuff, because that's not teaching the body to work independently. So if you're on a chest press machine, I would rather see them have 2 dumbbells lifting them very light, water bottles with water shaking in them. There's so many implements that you could use to have a kid figure his body out or her body out, because that's all they're doing at this stage. They're trying to figure out this stuff, man. Like, how does this move? And when I see Titan get locked in and do that, adults can't do what he's doing efficiently as he's doing. And I use the word efficient because that's how you have to be when you're not locked into a movement pattern and the weights are shaking everywhere. You got to narrow in and like, okay, and everything's got to be engaged. And one of the big things that Mike does with Titan is cues. A good trainer will use cues for their client. So if you say certain words, it reminds them of certain body posture. If you say certain things, it reminds somebody, ooh, I got to fix this. And that translates from lifting in the gym to being on the wrestling mat to being anywhere athletically. You could say one thing, flush, is what I said to my kid his whole life. Throw a pick, flush, renew the energy, go back out in again. And that's all it is. And every single piece of this process is just being engaged, man. I'll give you a quick example. My son started playing football again, a quarterback, and the last team he played for, he blew his AC joint out. Now he's got to learn to throw again without having an AC joint connected. So we came home from practice the other day. He's like, dude, it's really weird. I said, okay, let's take a step back. And what do we know is important when you throw? Not using your arm, but using your feet. You throw with your body. And so once you do that, you're not going to throw your arm out.
That's a great analogy.
It's true because
you think of footballs, it's the whip, the body.
Yeah. It's all of this. And then that final bit is, and don't have to get into here.
Yeah. So final statements on this is get them in gymnastics, get them in wrestling. And that way they can start moving and grooving and using the muscles. And this is males and females. So a boy should do gymnastics and a girl should do wrestling, in my opinion, mostly as youngsters. I got Titan in at 2.5 on jiu-jitsu. He wasn't doing actual jiu-jitsu, but he was at a dojo with the jiu-jitsu coaches doing things that would mimic jiu-jitsu. And then within a year was doing jiu-jitsu by 3.5. So
was he ever in traditional judo classes?
Not yet.
Are you waiting for a certain stage based upon your understanding of judo and the level you made it to? I'm
waiting until because it's the bump, less bump. And he's learning hip tosses now in jiu-jitsu. Okay. The school I found does a lot of stand-up. You'll see when I do set up Titan on exercises, I've removed the bench for bench press, and I only have his shoulder
and his feet
on the platform. And that the reason why is it's not the bench press, but it's the body being one unit and connected as he's moving and then throwing the bar in the air instead of just pressing it. He'll control it and then throw it because I want the explosion for him to understand how to use that motion as well. And then we slow it down and put the kettlebells on it and control the body. So I'm glad you're doing it. Key point, be a father that stays active. So they're going to follow you and the missus. So make sure that you guys are working out and doing your thing and the kids will follow and mimic you.
That's huge, man.
Yeah.
And it's a lifetime commitment. It's a lifetime commitment because at 62 right now, I told my son yesterday, we came home from practice, we went to lunch. And I said, you know what, Mitch? You know what I love, man? The players really like me a lot. They love to be around me. I get text messages daily from these guys, and they're saying cool stuff right here. Clark, you're a bad man, baby. Coach Cree must have told you I'm coming down and bringing the energy, huh? Excited to see you. Let's get better, my brother. I said what I said. Together, we might drop an energy bomb on Oceanside. Let's go, dog. This is a 30-year-old kid who's my son's age that sees a dad that's out there running routes, D'ing up on guys, getting physical off the line. They're looking at me like, what the hell? This is when it gets fun. Like Mike's at the beginning stages now. It gets so much more fun later when you're still someone who can represent, not for your own, like the ego part for me, that's out of it. It's the fun part, and it's having my son look back and go, that's my dad, dude. That's my dad.
I think that's cool too.
First ultra, lift daily, eat healthy, but not seeing the mirroring from my kids, 7, 9, and 12, that I hoped for. Any advice to help them guide without looking in the gym, only in tuna salad? So
One
mirroring.
more time. Jeff, do you want to read it? Because that was
just ran my first ultra. I live daily, eat healthy, and I'm not seeing the mirroring from my kids. They're 7, 9, and 12 that I hope for. Any advice to help guide them without locking them in the gym with only tuna and salad?
There's no guidebook, right, for kids. Yeah, and you're doing it, and you're hoping for the mirror aspect of it.
Here's advice: lock them in with salad. And
let me say this. I did a talk about this, and I know a lot of people got mad about the choice of words. It's just a word, guys. But the term force isn't, to most people, is an ugly word. But at the end of the day, you are forcing them to go to school. You are forcing them at times to eat something healthy, not just chocolate all day. You are forcing them to, at some point, get to bed instead of staying up until 2 o'clock. So if there is some way that you can get them to start doing something more active after school, my recommendation is you approach that in a way that you do the other things that you're trying to teach him: to be a good person, go to school, learn, get to bed, eat something at some point healthy, drink their water. I would use that same kind of philosophy for the athletics and
One thing we overlooked, though,
go with it.
dude ran his first ultra. That's badass, bro. That's bad. So good for you. So look, how old are you and you ran your first ultra? How long has it been in your mind? How long have you been developing this process and skill? You did it in your own time, right? So maybe your kids just need to do their thing in their own time. And I can promise you, as long as you're the mirror, as long as you're the example, as long as you continue to do what you do with no expectation whatsoever, one of them might turn out to mirror you exactly. 3 of them might turn out to do something completely different, but their energy towards whatever they're doing will be the mirror of you. Right? That was good. Might not be an athlete. They might be a musician. They might be a academia. They might do all of this, but whatever effort they see you consistently putting in, they'll put that same effort into whatever it is they're going to do.
Man, maybe it's my mood.
You don't agree?
I don't agree. I don't agree because it's activity. I'm not talking about, I don't need the kids to be athletes. I don't need the kids to do anything, but the kids, so they learn better, so they have some kind of structure, should do something athletic or some kind of activities to be healthy. And so by not disciplining them somewhat to do something activity, or because great, they're going to be artists, so skip school is what it sounds like to me. It's like, just don't force them. Don't force them to be athletes. They're 7, 9, and 12. They should be doing something outside.
Well, maybe they are. I'm just kind of maybe mirroring in the sense of my framework of that was maybe not leveling up athletically to where they want them to be. If they're not doing anything at all physically, I agree 100%. I remember seeing my kid in the back of like, I don't like it here. Stay. Crying, staying. I remember my first experience.
Does that make sense though?
Yeah, 100%.
At some point, you got to go. They got to be somewhat active at 7 and 9.
Oh, dude, no. I was 7 years old. My dad took me to the East Canton CYC or Boys and Girls Club or one of them places. And I walked in, and I told this story before. The smell of that gym put the fear of God in me. It was just sweat. It was bodies. It was squeaking of tennis shoes. And I was the only white guy in the entire place. And I was intimidated, man. And I walked out there and I came over to my dad and said, man, I want to go home. He said, nope. But he sat down on the
Wait a
bleachers.
minute, hold on now. Hold on. So he kind of forced you.
He 100% forced me.
And then you turn out like this at 62, still being athletic. So
I'd still be scared to go in that CYC in Canton.
yeah.
Same fear in my gut, but I would go.
Yeah. So these kind of questions, understand, just because we've won bodybuilding and been athletes, it doesn't mean I want those kids to be anything of that. I just want the father to have some kind of athletics for their kids, and the mothers. The kids be somewhat athletic, not athletic, exercise at that age. That's a better term. I want them to do some kind of exercise.
Yeah, Mike, they would be on the screen all day. I see that. Clark. Oh, here's Bobo. What's he saying? You should never be intimidated with that.
See, that's why I said be careful.
Yeah, that's
I know.
I know from TikTok. Yeah, I don't.
You got to read first.
Yeah,
You guys feel free to disagree, clip these and throw these up. But I think kids need to be active. Mostly the way the world is moving, where now 35-year-olds, they say the percentage is 99% of people will never run again at 35. Some crazy number. It's probably not that, but you guys can correct me on this and put up a clip saying I was wrong. That'd be cool.
you still won't listen. You don't care.
Okay, Mr. Eyesight. Do you see something?
Howdy. Oh, I thought he said howdy, stupid.
He did.
Howdy. Stupid question time. New to working on losing weight.
That's
I
what he
was
said.
wondering what is better, lightweight to work on technique or push weight and lower reps? I would say getting your form down first, regardless of how much weight you're using, whatever relative to you is, to where you can get your form down. Because pushing past that for the sake of losing weight or whatever your goal is, with poor form and poor everything that goes along with that, isn't a good look. I practiced on form with everything that I do. Like even, we'll use wrestling as an example. If you're working on a single leg, you're going to shoot that single leg 1,000 times in a practice, over and over and over and over and over again. Lifting weights is the same way. You have to find a weight, in my opinion, that you can get great form with, then your body will get stronger as you go. So, but losing weight has nothing to do with the sets and reps. It's everything to do with what you put in your mouth.
Everybody, you completely lose the term lightweights or heavyweights. There's no such thing. The form is always the best you possibly can at the weight that you're doing. That's it. You don't do heavyweight and then bad form. Rep range, again, goes along with the plan. So at times you're going to be doing low reps, maybe at the start of the workout, and higher reps midway through the workout. So
but
again,
this is unacceptable right here.
Sean Ray.
No weights on the
Sean
thing.
Ray
He's
doing
looking like
absolutely nothing, half squatting. Sean, this is terrible. Learn to lift. Sean, I can't help you. I cannot help you. But just lose the term lightweight, heavyweight. You always have form is first. And then it's whatever the rep range is. And then you go as heavy as you can, keeping that form. Okay? So just keep that in mind. If your rep range is 12, it's the weight you can do for 12. Form is precise. The best you possibly can.
Is that Kenny KO there asking that question?
No, it's just a reference. Everyone keeps asking this in the chat. One man could hold you down. What could two do?
Have a good time.
Dominate me.
Bring the baby oil.
You should always get your blood work done before you do anything. Blood work is the data that we need to drive results. If you don't have the data, you're flying blind, especially if you're older, man. Look, and you need to go to a place where they know what they're looking at. If you go to your general practitioner, or even an endocrinologist, a lot of times, they're only going to look at a few markers and then most likely write you a prescription and send you on your way for something that isn't going to signal your body to do what it was meant to do. It's going to hide things, pain, weight, all of this sort of stuff. So I think 100% you got to have your blood work done. There you go. Don't even need to follow up.
Not before peptides, just blood work.
Yeah, just period. Should lifting always be slow and controlled, or is there a time I should do it explosively? Well, he just talked about doing it explosively with Titan right now. So, yeah, there are times. It depends on what you're training for.
That goes along with the plan. They're both should be installed into the workouts.
Good questions, Chad.
That was a good question.
You guys are smart. You guys are smart. If my goal is hitting each muscle group twice a week, how much volume should I be aiming for? I'm not smart enough to answer that, Billy, so I'm going to leave it to the Titan here.
So doing it once a week didn't work for you, and so you feel that you have to go to twice a week, is what I'm guessing, right? Because I'm looking at your picture. And so
he's a rodeo cowboy. He rides bulls and stuff.
Awesome. Yeah. I just make sure that there's a reason why you're doing twice a week. And then the volume would go around. So like if you're training once a week and that worked for a period of time and then it slowed down, fully understand. Go to twice a week. But again, I would start with lower numbers, right? The volume doesn't have to be extreme. The gym is about doing the least amount of work possible. And still get better.
Amen.
It's not about the guy that does the most work. It's never about that. And because your body will adapt. So imagine you go, hey, I'm just going to start lifting. Okay. So what are you going to do? Well, I'm going to do every body part twice a week, jump on an hour of cardio. I'm going to fast. I'm going to do 1 day of carbs. You're just doing this plethora of going from ground zero to 100. Well, now you just used up Batman's utility belt. Mm-hmm. You got no more tricks. The benefit of having things that you can go to is that you can keep moving forward. So like he walked in on my squat today and he doesn't know where I'm at with my numbers, right? But Jeff walked in, I think around 1 o'clock today, and around 1 o'clock. And he said, it's surprising. It seemed like you went from this number and it just, first of all, to get to this one number, it took a bit. And then from that number, it's just shooting forward now. So it's the slow process. Could I have come back to this from the start? Yeah, but what would that have done to the body? What would that done to the muscles, the connective tissue? Things take time. You know what's really fast and easy? Building muscle. You know what's not fast and easy? Bone density, nervous system, and connective tissue. So
you need to write a book on that, man.
Go read about this. Go read about Davis law, and Wolff's law, double F. These things are going to be so much beneficial to you guys when you're young. And again, I'll say for myself, could I be doing what I'm doing today if I started yesterday? No, not in a million years. But because I was dumb enough to start at such a young age, I know no other way. And I built a foundation to where I can do it now. And it's the same thing with your dad taking you into that P. Diddy gym with baby oil and that smell and saying, you're going to train here. And then that set up him to win through life. So take your time. Don't be too crazy. Sorry, I can't answer you how much volume you should do with this, but it just opened up Pandora's box on there's so many more important questions. Is one body part a week beneficial right now? And maybe later go 2. Or if 2 is good, start out moderate.
I think if you get outside of your ego, going back to that whole thing, and you lift how your body's telling you you need to lift, the volume will figure itself out. The volume will end up happening for you, because the reality is you're probably not a bodybuilder. Splits don't matter all that much. All of these micro things that a lot of bodybuilders focus on,
You can kill it.
I don't think are necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll see if we have a couple.
So,
These guys in here.
yeah, man. Sorry, people.
Oh, cramp.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that cramp? Is that normal? A little baby bump.
What's up with that front delt, though?
Ah,
Ow, crap.
that's an arm. Yeah.
Did you ever do this? Bend the wrist back and flex the bicep like that when you were a kid and just try to peek it?
Oh, yeah. That's like that.
Yeah.
This one from the gram. Mike, can you give some advice on raising a young athlete? My son's 7, and I'm doing what I can, but at times I feel like I'm going too hard on him.
Ooh, yeah. On this one, I can speak about, because be patient on your communication with them. I know stay with me for a second. Stay patient on your communication with them, but keep them in the work ethic. And I spoke about this weekend. We don't praise him on his wins. We praise him on his work ethic. Do you know why you won? It's because you went to class this week and you put in the work. So we try to mentally talk about the work ethic and everything he's doing. So as a parent, trust me, I have hit some frustration moments, but be patient with your speech to them, but keep them on class. I have some great friends that kind of verbally, in the face, and I can see what that does to the kids, and it pulls them back to where parents around me that just kind of let it flow and let the work ethic stay in there seem to get good results, because again, the one thing you don't want to do is make the kid feel like he's effing up.
So I'll come at this from 2 decades later, 30-year-old son at practice the other day. I recognize something my son's doing wrong. And to your point, I was being very thoughtful about, okay, what words am I going to use right now to not mess up the rest of this practice and have him get off focus and get mad at me for coaching him. So all I did was turn around to the coach and said, man, I notice if Mitch doesn't zip the ball in hard, it's usually flying overhead. He's like, yeah, because he's not finishing his stroke. I'm like, dude, I'm not going to tell him. You tell him. So the other coach told him, yeah, next pop, 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 pop. Then it started happening again. I say something. So the point is, familiarity breeds contempt. You're the most in his face, the most. That gets old after a while. I learned along the way when to say something to my son, when not to say something to my son, because Mike brought up a very good point. In the wrong moment, maybe we just don't say anything and let them do it, because they're there. They're competing. They're doing their thing. So that's what I had to learn for a long time, is like know when to speak, know when not to speak, know when to coach, when not to coach. I've had more fights with my son than anyone on the planet because of the aggressive nature that we both have. I'm like, Mitch, just put it on. It's a lot easier than it seems. I'm like, okay, I'm not out there.
It is so tough. Yeah, you parents, it's tough on us to be the ones that are telling them this stuff. So I would, and I know that I said I got frustrated a few times. I never said anything to tighten. I said something to the coaches. So that's ironic that was smart of you as well.
Dude, I just did it. And the coach knew I knew what I was saying. And he was so busy looking at everybody else. I'm like, dude, we got to complete passes here. We got to put it on them. So the one thing I said, he translated it and it was fixed like that. But if I would have said it, it wouldn't have been fixed like that. It would have just been, oh, there's my dad again. Dude, can you go home? Like, because it's just familiarity. And yeah, but the bottom line is this. It's so fun. We're in such a good position in life to be there for our kids as coaches,
you didn't share,
as mentors, as examples, as cheerleaders. We're there, you know? And I just feel blessed to still be able to do this at the age I'm at with the son at the age he's at, you know?
All right, give me a good one.
Hey, Mike and Clark, good to see you guys. Clark, this is Brandon. Just an update. Prostate cancer free as of January 9th, bro. Thanks for the encouragement and information a few months ago. Right on, Brandon. That's what we want. Free and clear, my brother. Right on, man.
We'll finish right there. Get your blood work done, folks.
Get your blood work done. App check. Clark and Mike, who's winning?
Look at that. You should have oiled up and tanned up before that.
I know. You don't want none of this. These two dudes have very similar eyes. Yes, intense. Scary.
Ooh.
You want none of this.
Batman and Superman back again.
Let's go.
Listen to this guy. Now, was that guy straight? Or did he just notice our eyes?
Me.
See you guys.